the role of image. And I think this is referenced in your Cengage work as well. It's something that is really important. What we see is that image has a big impact on our choices. We see someone and we react to the way they look. We see this in particular in the Kennedy-Nixon debates. Those who listened on the radio thought that Nixon won the debate. Those who watched on television thought Kennedy won. There was, in terms of the majority of voters. And so that's a really interesting thing that we discover. At the time, you know, Nixon is recovering from the flu. He doesn't want to put makeup on. And so he's sweating under the lights. He keeps looking over at Kennedy instead of looking at the camera, and he looks furtive, and people just don't trust him. Whereas Kennedy, you know, he takes the advice, and, you know, where he's healthy at the time, isn't recovering from the flu. He's wearing, you know, the makeup that helps with the stage, and he looks straight at the camera and is direct. It makes a difference in their presentation, okay? So we are looking at this, and now we're gonna kind of then look at some ads. So image matters, right, in a campaign. So we've talked about those other things that matter, you know, our ideology, the way we see things, money, but it also matters advertising. Advertising appeals to different people and different emotions in particular. So we're going to figure out which one is best for you and why they're best for you. And I want you to think about what emotions each of these bring out as well, okay? So I'm going to have a big poll at the end, but I'm going to ask you kind of little questions as we go along. But right now, I think would probably be a good time while I'm getting the first one rolling to have Eric take roll. So Eric, if you'll take roll.
And attendance is live. And please make sure if you are not able to use it, you let me know immediately, because I'm not fixing it at the end of class. It means you're not paying attention. Rant over.
Okay, so I'm going to try to go to the hyperlink, but I bet that we're going to have to cut out, and I'm going to have to change my share. So we'll see. Eric, can you see my browser opening up? Okay.
No, cannot.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amy Killen. I have a medical practice, and I've been using Doodly now for a few weeks to create these really fun videos to share.
There we go. So here's our first ad.
I'm for president, I'm for president, I'm for president, I'm for president. You like I like I everybody likes I for president. Hang out the banner, beat the drum. We'll take I to Washington. We don't want John or Dean or Harry. Let's do that big job right. Let's get in step with the guy that's right. Get in step with I. You like I like I. Everybody likes I for president. Hang out the banner, beat the drum. We'll take I to Washington. We got to get where we are going. Travel day and night for president. Adelaide, go the other way. We all go with I. President, you like I like I. Everybody likes I for president. Hang out the banner, beat the drum. We'll make I to Washington. We'll
Oops.
Take I to Washington.
Now is the time for all good Americans to come to the aid of their country.
All right, that is our first example of an ad that is a name recognition ad. Okay, so here's our second example of a name recognition.
Did Melody get knocked out? Oh, Melody.
Yeah, I think so. I can't hear
Yeah.
anything.
Okay, well,
A lot of
several
people got knocked out in the group chat.
Yeah, that's what I just saw. Well, how's everybody's week going?
Fabulous.
Going pretty good.
Yeah, great.
Not bad.
Well, hey, you know.
Same old stuff, different week.
Yeah, same song, third verse, kind of. Or mid.
Just stressing and procrastinating.
Whoa, that was loud.
Yeah, sure hope you didn't have your earphones in with that one.
Okay, so if I missed the attendance or did not see it, but I've been on here the entire time, what do I need to do about that?
Next time, because attendance in total is worth 1 point of your total grade for the class. Divide that by ever how many classes you come to. It's really not worth that much percentage. So just next time, let me know quickly, because I don't want to fix 50 attendances every time. So
right.
Let me see if I can call Melody and what's going on? Dr. Rowlett, excuse me. Oh, there she is. A lot of students got kicked out, so.
I think a lot of people got kicked out just then. I got kicked out. Everybody got kicked out. All right. So we will calm down for a second, and then we'll play our next campaign ad. So you guys enjoyed Ike? Yes?
Yeah.
I thought Ike was good.
Did we get to see little Miss Daisy?
We will see the Daisy ad, yes.
Good. Yeah, please vote for Ike now, Alexis.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start Kennedy. I'm hoping that more of us are on now. So let's get started. Theoretically, I want to do that. Okay, another name recognition.
Everyone is voting for Jack, cause he's got what all the rest lack. Everyone wants to back Jack. Jack is on the right track, cause he's got high hopes. He's got high hopes. 1960's the year for his high hopes. Come on and vote for Kennedy, vote for Kennedy, and we'll come out on top. Oops, there goes the opposition girl. Oops, there goes the opposition girl. Oops, there goes the opposition girl. K-E-double-N-E-D-Y. Jack's the nation's favorite guy. Everyone wants to back Jack. Jack is on the right track, cause he's got high hopes. He's got high hopes. 1960's the year for his high hopes. Come on and vote for Kennedy, vote for Kennedy. Keep America strong. Kennedy, he just keeps rolling up. Kennedy, he just keeps rolling up. Kennedy, he just keeps rolling along. Vote for Kennedy.
So that's name recognition, and I'm going to close out of this one. So I'm going to stop my share. There we go. Playing again. I'm going to stop my share, and I'm going to go to the next one. It's called biographical. Okay, so this is the next type is a biographical type. So name recognition and biographical are very similar, but there's a little bit different vibe to it. So I want you guys to look at that and tell me what you think when we go to biographical. I'm just going to put it in my browser. I think that might be a better way to keep people from getting kicked out.
I was born in a little town called Hope, Arkansas, 3 months after my father died. I remember that old father died.
Well, it's stuck on my end too, so it'll go in just a second.
Little town called Hope, Arkansas, 3 months after my father died. I remember that old two-story house where I lived with my grandparents. They had very limited incomes. It was in 1963 that I went to Washington and met President Kennedy at the Boys Nation program. And I remember just thinking what an incredible country this was, that somebody like me, had no money or anything, would be given the opportunity to meet the president. And that's when I decided I could really do public service because I cared so much about people. I worked my way through law school with part-time jobs, anything I could find. And after I graduated, I really didn't care about making a lot of money. I just wanted to go home and see if I could make a difference. We've worked hard in education and healthcare to create jobs, and we've made real progress. Now it's exhilarating to me to think that as president, I could help to change all our people's lives for the better and bring hope back to the American dream.
Okay, so that one was biographical, right? So it's a little bit different, obviously. And so the next one we're going to look at is issues or persuasion. Okay, so that was biographical. We're going to look at persuasion and issues next. Okay, so this is called Morning Again in America.
This is the story of the cult favorite, best-selling, waitlist-inducing Always Pound. I created the Always Pound because
there we go. Okay, now I'm going to share that with you so you do not have to watch that ad.
It's morning again in America. Today, more men and women will go to work than ever before in our country's history. With interest rates at about half the record highs of 1980, nearly 2,000 families today will buy new homes, more than at any time in the past 4 years. This afternoon, 6,500 young men and women will be married. And with inflation at less than half of what it was just 4 years ago, they can look forward with confidence to the future. It's morning again in America. And under the leadership of President Reagan, our country is prouder and stronger and better. Why would we ever want to return to where we were less than 4 short years ago?
Okay, so that is issues and persuasion, right? And I want you to think about how that ad made you feel as compared to the Bill Clinton ad. Hope, I think there's a lot of similar things that they're bringing out, but obviously this has a lot more, hey, this is what was going on and this is what it is right now. Also, you could also count the number of flags in that one as a drinking game, I think, and it would be a fun drinking game, I guess, for some people.
Patriotic drinking game.
Be a very painful drinking game. Okay, so I'm going to go on to our next one. I'm just going to stay here. I think I'm trying to figure out a way for this to work well. I think it'll probably do an ad again, but we'll see. We can't skip it.
It's 3 a.m. and your children are safe and asleep. But there's a phone in the White House and it's ringing. Something's happening in the world. Your vote will decide who answers that call. Whether it's someone who already knows the world's leaders, knows the military, someone tested and ready to lead in a dangerous world. It's 3 a.m. and your children are safe and asleep. Who do you want answering the phone?
I'm Hillary Clinton, and I approve this message.
So this one was I'm stopping it really quickly if I can. Let's see. We'll do that. This ad obviously was another policy issues, it's foreign policy. And so, but it's a little bit darker toned, right? Than Morning Again in America. Morning Again in America, it changes, but it's still not negative. It's saying, hey, look, this is someone who is aware of what's going on in the world, and foreign policy should be a priority for you. This is a negative ad. It was only run one time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6, 8, 9, 10.
These are the stakes. To make a world in which all of God's children can live, or to go into the dark. We must either love each other, or we must die.
Vote for President Johnson on November 3rd. The stakes are too high for you to stay home.
So that's our first fear ad. I'm going to give you guys a couple more, or a negative ad. That was a fear ad. And then here we have another fear ad.
There's a bear in the woods. For some people, the bear is easy to see. Others don't see it at all. Some people say the bear is tame. Others say it's vicious and dangerous. Since no one can really be sure who's right, isn't it smart to be as strong as the bear? If there is a bear.
Now, both of these ads, both the Lyndon Johnson ad and the Ronald Reagan ad, okay, is just, they're products of their time, okay? They're products of their time. So that means that we're seeing a lot of things that make sense to people at the time. So the question is, who's the bear? Can anybody tell me other than Eric? Who's the bear?
The Soviet Union.
The Soviet Union is the bear. Russia's the bear. So the USSR is the big, scary idea at that time. They, have been on our radar as potential enemies for quite some time. All right. All right. Now I have one more negative ad.
Bush and Dukakis on crime. Bush supports the death penalty for first-degree murderers. Dukakis not only opposes the death penalty, he allowed first-degree murderers to have weekend passes from prison. One was Willie Horton, who murdered a boy in a robbery, stabbing him 19 times. Despite a life sentence, Horton received 10 weekend passes from prison. Horton fled, kidnapped a young couple, stabbing the man and repeatedly raping his girlfriend. Weekend prison passes. Dukakis on crime.
So it's a negative ad. It was really effective against then Senator Dukakis, Governor Dukakis, actually. Let me pause this. See what's going on to someone else. So one of the things to remember is the way that negativity is used by a lot of candidates. They are very effective ads. We've seen a lot of ads
For
that
over
are
45 years, Nutrisystem has helped millions of people lose.
So here's our final ad, and this is a humorous ad.
2,700 people in our jail, and it costs us about $103 a day.
Gerald really doesn't have any hobbies.
Last year's tax rate was 0.4169. This year, we can take that down to 3,838.
So is he always like that? Yeah, all the time.
Which means that the 3,838 is probably going to go somewhere between 3,838 and 41.69.
Most people leave their work at the office.
You got 3 light rail cars. You can put 60 people on each car. So even if you add 2 cars, you're talking about maybe 300 people that are affected. There are 1 million people in this community. I mean, that is 0.01 to the 8th power. If you round it off, it's 0.
All he wants to do is fix things.
So we got this 18-wheeler that's parked in this neighborhood, spewing fumes all over the place, but quite frankly, it's not a code violation. You know, I think I like helping around the house here.
Please reelect Gerald. Please.
So I feel like that is Eric feels attacked by this ad because I think Eric might be Gerald, right? You know, they could be connected. But it is a very funny ad that I have always found to be very funny. So I'm going to ask you guys a poll question right now. I'm going to ask you which ad you find to be most effective. And it is live.
Did you see the, speaking of fear ads, did you see the recent Trump one? We showed it on Friday, but it's the old lady getting attacked at her home.
No, I haven't seen that one.
It's pretty interesting. It's really speaks to the old folks.
Now, sometimes things don't work as well. Some ads don't work as well. And so this is a political ad that played that is probably the worst political ad ever created. This is for you guys.
Some people see a dumpster fire and do nothing but watch the spectacle. Some are too scared to face the danger, or they think it will benefit them if they just let it keep on burning. Others shrug and say, oh, all this talk of a dumpster fire, it's just fake news. There is an inferno raging in Washington. But here in the land of 10,000 lakes, we know how to put out a fire.
I am Richard Painter, and I approve of this message.
So Mr. Painter did not win his Senate bid. It was probably the worst political ad ever made. It's unclear. There's, yeah, it was really awful. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and I'm going to share just kind of the rest of the lecture. There's not much left. But I did want to talk to you guys about a couple of these things. So this is a question I've asked in the past, but I like a broader question instead. So let's see. On our poll results, what we have is it says 42% like persuasion and issues best, 26% like fear and negativity best, 21% say humor plus Philip, and then 12% say name recognition. So, you know, there are different things that appeal to us, and it's important to know what those are. What we do know is this: negative ads work, okay? They appeal to something base in us. It's one of those things that we talked about at the beginning of the semester, the power of demagoguery and the use of fear. It's really effective. And so negative ads are effective. Another thing that we're seeing more and more campaigns, and we're going to talk about this with media too, is how campaigns have gone digital. And I just want you to look at 2015, how much money, or even 2014, how much money is spent during an election year on digital political ad spending. $71.16 million. Nothing. Now look at 2020. This is how much was spent whenever I put this together in, you know, July. I don't have a more recent one, but this was as of July. This is how much digital political ad spending had been added. So obviously that means that all of the Facebook ads, all of the Twitter ads, everything that you're seeing that's sponsored on Reddit, everything that like that, that's going to be digital to you. There's also the use of Twitter. President Trump has been very effective at using Twitter. This is a tweet from the 2016 election. Obama just endorsed crooked Hillary. He wants 4 more years of Obama, but nobody else does. And this is her response, which was delete your account. So Twitter has been an important tool for the last 4 years, certainly. But the thing is it wears us out, okay? We get worn out by the constant barrage on social media. There's no real retreat for us, and it's exhausting. When we talk about politics on social media, 60% find it to be stressful and frustrating, and they find that they have less in common politically with their friends. 64% people that they had always known and they thought they had more in common with. And so it also tells us a little bit more about political beliefs whenever we wouldn't normally talk about that. It removes filters. And this is really important. And Eric is absolutely going to talk about this in 2 weeks when he talks about the media. That we have filters for a reason. We have editors for a reason. We have standards for a reason. Social media does not fact check. Now, in the past year, essentially, Twitter has started saying, hey, you can't say this if it's untrue, or just putting up a, hey, this is untrue sticker on it. But for the most part, we don't see fact checking going on. We also know this. People tend to say things when discussing politics that they would never say in person. It has created a level of incivility about politics, but also in our discourse about politics that was not there before. And this goes back to what we were talking about with socialization. We tend to only listen to people that we agree with. We follow people who share our views. And so and it's the same, Republicans and Democrats. And this means that we're not hearing the whole story, but we also don't have a viewpoint that we can listen to through the media that is able to give us factual information about politics. This is a big worry. This is a big concern about campaigns, and it has been for the last 4 years. And it, until it's resolved, it will continue to be. And so how we resolve that is a big question. How can we address this and at the same time maintain the First Amendment? It's a tough question and something that we need to think about as people. All right, so we have taken attendance. We have taken a poll, and I think that is it for today. We watched many ads that are, you know, in different eras and different genres, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I will talk to you more about all of this important stuff next week. Until then, oh wait, I had announcements. It's important. I had to stop myself. Right. Cengage grades have been populated into your grade book. Okay, so your grades, your total grade there should reflect your Cengage grades. I opened up chapter 6 and 11, which was last week and the week before, until midnight on Friday, because there was a very low number of participation. This is absolutely the last time. Okay, you have until midnight on Friday if you missed those chapters. If someone has emailed me about a problem not dealing with those chapters, and it's a serious problem and I have not addressed it, please email me again. Okay, today, email me. All right. This week's, because I did not have the due date in there, I set it for tonight or today at noon. Okay, so you have a little bit more time. If you didn't get it done, you have 30 minutes right now to get in there and try to get it finished. As a reminder, next week 2 are due. So I have set them both for Wednesday to give you a chance to do them both. 2 are due. And then after that, it's a return to normalcy, which means that they're always due at noon on Monday. Okay? So I've changed things around for this week and next to help you out. But after that, back to noon on Monday. So until next Monday, be safe out there. Boomer.
Yeah.